What's poppin', Rob Television? Welcome back to another reaction with your boys. You can see by the title, man. Yes, I'm back with another Larry Legend reaction video. Now, this is a very interesting video because this is a comparison that I see a lot of people making, especially as far as newer, younger NBA fans will go comparing, Kevin Durant to Larry Bird because they both were, similar. They both played small forward. They both were good scoring small forwards. They both was tall and able to handle the ball like they point guard. So this is interesting. This is a comparison I never really just gave too much thought about. I just was, doing my research like I always be doing. And I ended up seeing this video and I was like, you know what? This video needs to be put out to my subscribers so I can get their opinion on how they feel about this. So let me know how y'all feel about this comparison or this breakdown video. But before we get into the video, man, do me a big favor, man. Smash that thumbs up video because the video gonna be lit. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Click that post notification bell to be notified on all things Rob Television. Let's check it out. All right, you guys, do me a big favor, man. Before you get into this video, if you haven't already, man, follow me on all my social medias, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. All the links will be down in the description. And if you wasn't notified on this from my previous videos, I also have a PayPal just in case you guys want to donate. Whatever the amount is, it don't matter. It could be 50 cents. You know what I mean? If you want to donate that, make sure you show me some love on that. PayPal link will be in the description as well. All my links for everything is in the description, man. Make sure y'all show that some love. Let's get into this video.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I am back in a video where this time once again we're going to compare two NBA legends, one from the past and one in the current NBA.
Well, it's basically a comparison video, I guess, from hearing him say the comparison, but it said why Larry Bird will always be better than Kevin Durant. And I can think of a couple reasons why, but I guess he's going to break it down.
NBA. The players I've chosen are Larry Bird and Kevin Durant. And first off, I want to clarify, both these guys in my personal book are top 15 players of all time, and both top 3 small forwards. And I think in the coming years, Kevin Durant is going to have some big-time debates and arguments for actually being better than Larry Legend. So with that being the case, I wanted to make my case as to why Bird will always be better and greater than one Kevin.
Going into this video, the only thing I can give, and y'all don't crucify me, but the only thing I can really give, and he's, like I said, of course it's two different eras. So, I mean, that's one reason why I can say this. The only thing I can really give him over Larry Bird would have been scoring, and it basically because it was two different eras, man. It was two different style of players. Like Larry Bird was almost past. He was scored, don't get me wrong, but he was more of a facilitator as well than Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's not really no facilitator in my opinion. He's more of a scorer. He's more of a one-dimensional player, if you ask me. So that's the only thing I can give them that they would say over Bird. Probably would have been the points that he averaged over a certain year span or whatever.
Kevin Durant. Now, before we get into that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please make sure to do so. And if you could like this video, I greatly appreciate it. So with that being said, let's get into the video. So first off, when looking at both Larry Bird and Kevin Durant, they're both talented offensive players and all-time great small forwards, as established and everyone knows that. But when I look at both these players, there are some really big differences on their impact on winning and a team overall. Specifically looking at Larry Bird, when he came in the NBA as a rookie in 1980, he completely transformed a Celtics team that was in the dumpster of the NBA. And looking at both these rosters with Bird and without Bird the previous year, they're fairly similar and definitely comparable. On both these teams, he had one 20-point scorer and 8 guys in double digits. And when you go more in depth on both these teams, before Bird and with Bird, the 80 Celtics drastically improved, with their only big improvement being Larry Bird. Look at the 80 Celtics, 5th in scoring, 6th in opponent scoring, 1st in SRS, 1st in net rating, 2nd offensive rating, 4th in defensive rating, and they won 61 games, the most in the NBA. Only a year before that, Boston was in the bottom half of every category in the NBA. And to clarify, at this time, there are only 22 teams in the league. So in all these categories, they're on the bottom quarter of offense as well as defense. And in total, they only won 29 games and the 20th best record out of 22 teams. And looking past Bird's early years, look at 1988, Bird's last prime season. That year, Boston was 3rd in scoring, 14th in opponent scoring, 1st in SRS, 1st in net rating, 1st in offensive rating, 17th in defensive rating, and they won 57 games, the 2nd best record in the NBA. Only a year later, the 89 Celtics, with Bird playing 6 games, dropped in virtually every category. And they went from a top-tier offensive team and a top-tier defensive team to a mid-tier or below-average team in those categories. And in total, they only won 42 games, the 16th best record in the NBA. So any way you want to slice it when looking at Larry Bird, whether he was old or young, when he was not on the court, his impact was definitely felt for that Boston team, as he was their best scorer, their best passer, as well as their best rebounder, and some years early on, he was actually their best defender, making 3 all-defensive teams. For KD, yes, he is impactful, but you can make a very strong argument for his 2 championships, he was not the most valuable player on those teams. That was Steph Curry. Now, looking past Bird's immense impact, let's look at how good his peak was from 84 to 88. Looking
And
at
I
his
don't
stats,
I don't like to really just throw that in there, the running for championships, but it's like, what if he would have never went to Golden State? Would he have been a champion? Now, if he would have never went to Golden State and he was never a champion, I feel like being that a lot of people consider championships correlates to the greatest player, that wouldn't even be a debate between Bird and Durant. But by him going to Golden State and he acquired those championships, I mean, now it puts him in a debate. But it's still like, look how you acquired them. You went to literally the best team in the NBA the previous year that you lost to at that. And the next year you go to the best team in the NBA. And it's almost like, come on, man, like. But hey, I mean, he goes at the end of the day, he goes down as a champion. It doesn't really matter how he got him, because at the end of the day, he is a champion. But a lot of people, I mean, that just kind of tarnishes his legacy as far as how he got the championships. But that's one reason why I wouldn't put him over Bird. If anything, that alone, you know what I mean. But there's many other reasons too.
He averaged 27 points per game, 9.8 boards, 6.8 assists, on insane 51, 40, and 89.9 splits. During a 5-year period, Larry Bird was a 27-point, 54-90 player. That historically is insane and only rivaled by someone like a Steph Curry. Also during this time period, Bird won 3 MVPs all in a row, and his Boston teams won 60-plus games, also 3 years in a row. And if you look to his playoff numbers, once again, they're nearly identical to his stats in the season, as he averaged 26 points per game, 10 boards, 7 assists, on 49, 37, and 90 splits. And during this time period, Boston won 2 championships, with Bird winning 2 Finals MVPs. And whatever you think Larry Bird's best season was, you have to admit he was the best offensive player in the NBA, and arguably the best all-around player the game had seen. He was a top 3 scorer, the best small forward rebounder, and the second best passer, only behind Magic. And one thing you have to know about Larry Bird in his prime, he averaged 39.1 minutes per game, and he missed less than 20 games during a 5.
And that's the thing. That's another reason why it's towards Bird, because KD is, in my opinion now, this is why it's a debate, because everybody else have their opinion. So the KD fans, let me know down, but I'm talking about actual people who know sports. KD is more effective when he's scoring. If KD isn't scoring, he's not going to be effective. You know what I mean? Even though it's hard to stop KD, I'm going to say it's hard. It's almost damn near impossible to stop KD from scoring. But if he's not scoring, he's not effective. Bird was effective all around, whether he was scoring, whether he was passing, whether he was rebounding, whether he was making plays, whether he was playing defense, whether he was just doing the hustle plays that really goes unnoticed, that doesn't, get counted on the stat sheet. He was effective all around, bro.
During a 5-year stretch. That, for today's players, is simply unheard of. Now, when looking at Bird's best season in totality, taking into account accolades, I think it's the 86 season where he won MVP. During this year, Larry averaged 25.8 points per game, 9.8 boards, 6.8 assists, on 49, 42, and 89 splits. And Boston's a team
Then he led his team in all categories.
only losing
Points
15
per game,
games.
assists, rebounds, and steals.
And Bird this year made 82 threes, that was the most in the NBA, and had 10 triple-doubles, also the most in the league. And we're looking at his stats versus the team, he was their leader in points, assists, rebounds, as well as steals. And for the NBA, he was fourth in scoring.
This is the thing that a lot of people who so-called know sports, they don't ever really dig down into the numbers. They look at the play style. Kevin Durant play style was a lot more flashier than, Larry Bird's, obviously. But they correlate, I feel like a lot of people correlate flashiness, the play style, they correlate that to a player being better than this player, because Larry Bird was fundamentally sound. And by that's just like with Kobe's game. Like, it wasn't the most flashiest game, but it was hard to stop, and it was consistent. You know what I mean? He wasn't sitting there draining half court threes. I mean, half court threes doesn't make you a better player than the next player. You know what I mean? Like, it's just stuff like that. A lot of people don't really pay attention. That's why when I have these debates, I like to have these debates with unbiased players. Well, not players, but unbiased fans, as well as people who actually know sports.
Scoring, 7th in boards, 9th in steals, and 14th in assists. Also, the advanced stats are phenomenal, as he ranks top 10 in offense as well as defense in the advanced stat categories. And if you look to the playoffs, once again, his stats are highly impressive, as he averaged 25.9 points per game, 9.3 boards, 8.2 assists on 52, 41, and 93 splits. And for the 86 Celtics in the playoffs, they had a 15-3 record, only losing one game in the Eastern Conference. And the one thing I found very interesting is that Bird, in the closeout games, was something phenomenal, averaging 24.5 points, 8.8 boards, 7.5 assists on a remarkable 52, 54, and 94 splits. And in Game 6 versus Houston in the finals, he had 29 points, 12 assists, and 11 boards in a closeout victory. And speaking of the NBA Finals, Larry Bird, in my personal view, played tougher finals competition than Kevin Durant. Look at Larry Bird's 5 finals appearances. In 81, he played the Rockets, 84 the Lakers, 85 the Lakers, 86 the Rockets, and 87 the Lakers once again. On those teams, he is some of the greatest players of the decade. He had Moses Malone, Calvin Murphy, Hakeem, Ralph Sampson, Kareem.
And then arguably too, Larry Bird didn't have Steph Curry, future Hall of Famer, NBA All-Star, Klay Thompson, future Hall of Famer, NBA All-Star, DeMarcus Cousins, NBA All-Star, Draymond Green, NBA All-Star. That whole lineup was an NBA All-Star. Then you got Sean Livingston, a tremendous off-the-bench player coming off the bench, Andre Iguodala, a Finals MVP. Like, that team was stacked, bro. So it's just like, and then they was playing against LeBron James. Not saying LeBron James is a competition, but LeBron was the first year that they played. Only person he really other had was Kyrie. I mean, Kevin Love, he's wishy-washy. I'm talking about consistently good was Kyrie. But when you're going up against a 5-man starting lineup that's all NBA All-Stars, like, come on, man, what could you do against
Kareem, Magic, Worthy,
I can go all day
Michael
about that
Cooper,
debate, man.
and older Bob McAdoo. And specifically looking at the Lakers, those 3 teams are better than any finals team KD ever played. And Bird beating the 84 Lakers was a massive upset at the time. And one thing from KD's legacy that always has to be mentioned is that he went to a 73-win team after blowing a 3-1 lead to them in the Western Conference Finals. Larry Bird, for his entire career, played on one franchise and was loyal to Boston. Kevin Durant made the weakest move in NBA history by going to Golden State. It's a fact, and it simply just happened. And when looking at his resume, you have to evaluate that. Now, also when looking at Bird's overall game, one thing he thrived at was being clutch. As in his time period, he was the most clutch player in the NBA and hit numerous game-winning shots. And in total, he had 4 career buzzer-beating shots, all those coming with Boston trailing in the game. In those 4 games, he averaged 41.3 points per game. He scored 38 versus Phoenix, 48 versus Portland, 32 versus Detroit, and 47 versus Washington. No other player in NBA history has multiple 45-point buzzer-beating games. And also, Bird is the only player ever that had back-to-back buzzer beaters in consecutive games. And when looking at his career, he had 21 career game-time go-ahead shots in the final 24 seconds. Also looking at Game 7's, Bird averaged 27 points per game, 9.3 boards, and 6.8 assists. In closeout finals games, he averaged 24 points per game, 11.2 boards, and 5.7 assists. So Bird in the big-time games in the finals and the playoffs, in Game 7s, he always came through for his team and was clutch in the final moments. I think that for a basketball player is a pretty big thing when evaluating their overall game. Now, after looking at all that data, all those facts, my closing argument has to do with the fact Bird is just the better overall basketball player. When it comes to scoring, KD is the better player. When it comes to passing, Bird has a huge edge on KD. Basketball IQ is in Bird's favor. Shooting the basketball also in Bird's favor. Clutch definitely in Bird's favor. Basketball mentality 100% in Bird's favor.
Defense.
One-on-one game, it's in KD's favor. But when you look at the general criteria for a basketball player, Larry Bird checks more of those boxes than Kevin Durant. Also on the defensive end, Bird was a 3-time defensive player, and at his peak was better than Kevin Durant. And I think adding in the intangibles, that puts Bird even more over the top when compared to KD. And lastly, I'll do a resume summary of Bird's career. In total, he had 10 seasons of 25-5, the second most ever, 5 seasons of 20-10-5, the most ever. He has 2 seasons averaging 20 points per game on 50-40-90 splits, the most ever, and he has the second highest scoring average for a 50-40-90 season. Also, he's the last player in the NBA to win 3 straight MVP awards. In total, Bird led the NBA in free throw percentage 4 different times. In a 7-year period, he only missed 10 games. From 81 to 88, he was top 10 in scoring as well as rebounding. And probably the most impressive stat, we're looking at a prime Larry Bird from 81 to 88. He was top 3 in MVP voting every single year. That right there is a big piece of my argument of why Larry Bird is a better overall player and has a greater legacy when compared to Kevin Durant. So that right there is the end of the video. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time.
Even though I already know the answer, let me know what you guys think. Like I told y'all, that's what makes it even more fun, hearing you guys' opinions. So for all the 30 likes I'm getting on these videos, the views I'm getting, like I want to see 30 comments. I want to hear I want to hear y'all. I want to see. Now I might not be able to respond to all of them, obviously, but I want to just be able to scroll through and read y'all argument of why y'all think Larry is the better player, or why y'all think KD is the better player. But I know for the most part, where who favor is going to be in. But that is it for this video, man. If you guys did enjoy this video, do me a big favor, man. Smash that thumbs up button. Also, if you're new to the channel, man, make sure you subscribe. Click that post notification bell to be notified on all things Rob Television. I'll see y'all next video. I'm out this thing gang.